Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Hell in a Cell review for tonight, Sunday, October the 26th of 2014. Of course, tonight the pay-per-view for the WWE took place tonight in Dallas, Texas, American Airlines Center. Now, my thoughts on this pay-per-view. I would call it a very entertaining pay-per-view. You had some really good matches in there, especially the Hell in a Cell matches. The one that we thought would be an afterthought wasn't actually that bad of a match. The match we all wanted to be the main event of the card, to have two up-and-coming main event superstars to have the main event by themselves, kind of got ruined in my mind when someone else got involved. As you would see, we have a shocking return tonight by my subtitle, and I have my own opinions on the ending of the Hell in a Cell tonight, of the main event that I was hoping was going to be the last match. There's pros and cons about the ending for tonight's pay-per-view. I'll explain those as we get to probably the best match of the night, in my mind. Take away from that. It was a fun, entertaining pay-per-view. Some decent matches in there, a couple little duds in there, but not much. It was a very fun pay-per-view tonight for WWE. 7.0 tonight is my overall pay-per-view rating. Let's kick these off with the pre-show. Now, I had a gig tonight, DJ gig tonight, so I missed out TV. But I did up being, yes, I think it's the first match in the pre-show in a while. As Mark Henry would take on Bo Dallas again. I wanted to have Bo Dallas in Dallas, Texas, and make an Ebola joke. Interesting. Anyway, we've seen these two have a little bit of a feud lately, but what is it, 20 seconds? Mark Henry just destroyed Bo Dallas with the world's longest slam, like 20 seconds. 1.0. It was just a match that belonged in a pre-show. It belonged to be free. It didn't matter if it was on a Raw or 9, or in a pre-show. It belonged to be a free thing. So there you go. Bo Dallas just kept calling out like he got his shirt whipped off before getting world's longest slam, then Shane just got destroyed. So 1.0, quick squash for Mark Henry. That's what he do. Now on to the pay-per-view itself. Now, if I were to say some of my favorite matches of the night, take away the ending, the main event was my favorite match of the night. My second favorite match of the night would have to go to opening matchup of the night. It's kind of weird that the main event was my first favorite match, and the second favorite match of mine was the first match of the proper pay-per-view. The best 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental Championship, Dolph Ziggler against Cesaro. Now, we've seen these guys have a little bit of a feud lately. Of course, they had a match on SmackDown a couple weeks ago for the title with Cesaro hanging his foot on the rope. And then we saw Cesaro and Miz and Ziggler put on a great triple threat match. And I knew Cesaro had a feud against Ziggler building after that. They've been confronting each other. I knew they were going to have a match tonight in Hell in a Cell. And the build-up came from Cesaro pinning the Intercontinental Champion in a non-title match, in a great non-title match this past Monday. This was great athletic matchup, great fast-paced, great matchup between these two guys. It was non-stop action, great grappling, great action from these two guys. Great action. You know, I can't say that enough. It was fast, very fast-paced, a lot of near falls, especially that very first fall. Of course, Cesaro pulled the string again. That was awesome. May have pulled a string of his arm, basically. Got weakened by Ziggler doing the first fall. And after the swing from Cesaro, he tried to go for the pin. But then Dolph Ziggler counted for his own pin and the successful win of the first fall. So then, both guys turned up and down, especially Cesaro trying to get that second fall into his belt. He delivered everything, tried to deliver the uppercut. But then, like I said, he got his arm stringed out a little bit. He got his arm winged out by Ziggler. And Ziggler targeted the arm for the entire second fall. Just really weakening at it. Despite being weakened, Cesaro tried to deliver his big moves. Like I said, he delivered the uppercut. He was trying to set up the neutralizer at one point, but Ziggler did all of his big moves as well. He famous at one point. It was just action filled. It was a great Great spots in this matchup. Very good action. Like I keep saying. And then we had a great, I think both guys were like on the top rope, and then Ziggler turned into a superplex. That was a great spot there. And then the ending. As Ziggler was being set up by Mr. Cesaro for the neutralizer. Ziggler got out of it. And turned it into the zigzag in the 1, 2, 3. Dolph Ziggler wins in 2 straight. 3.5. I give it 3.5 just because I've seen 2 out of 3 fall matches come down to the 3rd fall. I thought Cesaro was going to win the 1st fall, or Ziggler was going to win the 1st fall, and it would come down to the 3rd fall. Rarely do we see a 2 out of 3 fall match end in 2 straight falls. I can understand why they wanted it best 2 out of 3, because they wanted more time for all the matches, especially more time for the 2 Hell in a Cell matches. So I can understand why they would want to shorten the 2 out of 3 fall and not let it go to that 3rd fall at the same time. But it still would have been better to see that match end with that 3rd and decisive fall instead of just one guy winning it 2 straight. But at the same time, that's probably what they did to make it, to give every match the amount of time, especially the Hell's matches, like I mentioned. So 3.5, great matchup, great action from 2 great athletes, and I didn't matter who won to me, because I'm big fans of both championship caliber guys. 2 guys who should be up in the upper card, not the mid card. You know, and it didn't matter who won, because I'm loving both guys. You know, fans of both. So there you go. Great win for Ziggler. 3.5, like I said, once again, great 2 out of 3 fall match. Great way to open up the main pay-per-view. We go from that to something a little bit silly. We're not too silly. Nikki Bella and Brie Bella. Now, we know that it was going to come down to this eventually. We're going to see the proper one-on-one match between Brie and Nikki. Of course, we've seen the build-up. Starting up from SummerSlam, we had to sit through those stupid segments. Growing up Bella, the Jerry Springer segment. And now it comes down to this. Where the stupid stipulation, the loser having to be the winner's personal assistant for 30 days. Or, if they don't comply, they quit the company. Now, this match, minus the bad acting in there, actually wasn't that bad of a match. It was okay. Better than I thought. It was okay. You know, these two, you can make fun of them all you want about their acting and lack of wrestling ability. Yes. Just let these two hit each other. Don't fucking talk and have no segments. Just let these two beat the crap out of each other. And that's kind of what they did. Especially with this stipulation up for grabs. And both women were just going at it, especially with Brie Bella. Then try to get the yes lock on Nikki, of course, remembrance of her husband, Daniel Bryan. And it took not 1 but 2 rack attacks to get it done. Nikki had her finishing move rack attack once. And then Nikki Bella tried to pin Brie, but of course Brie kicked out of that. And went into Brie mode with the big flying dropkick and all that stuff. But then after the attempt at the yes lock, that's when Nikki got out of it. It made it to the ropes. And they kicked Brie right in the face and did the second rack attack in the 1-2-3 victory for Nikki Bella. Now, I think a lot of people, when they heard the stipulation, I think many people expected Brie to lose because Nikki had to go through hell when Brie left and be put in unwanted situations. And now Brie can get a one-ups. You know, what goes around comes around. Now she gets to be put in precarious situations by being punished by Nikki by making her feel like a fool. By having her do these stupid things as having her assistant. Especially we would see later on with Brie pouring milkshake all over Brie. You know, Nikki pouring it all over Brie. 2.4. It was decent. It actually wasn't that bad. You know, some okay action there. Especially seeing these two finally face off. You know, the sister versus sister match. First time we've seen sisters facing off. We've seen brothers. You know, real brothers, Matt and Jeff, and of course Brett and Owen facing off. But now we had real sisters, so there you go. It doesn't last about a month. You know, weird segments on Raw every week with Nikki being the big boss and pushing Brie around like Nikki got tossed around when Brie quit the company. That's when they had the stipulation. The loser if they don't comply with the assistant job, they have to quit. So there you go. Now, if I were to pick a third favorite match, that'd be the tag team title match, the Usos trying to get back those titles against Golden Stardust. And it was a fun match, let's say that much, between these two tag teams. Of course, we saw Golden Stardust defeat the Usos in another decent matchup back at Night of Champions to win the championships. And I think Golden Stardust have catched on. You know, it's kind of weird to see Cody Rhodes being tossed around a gimmick. But like his former World Scholars tag team partner, who I'll get to in a moment, Damian Mizdow, Cody Rhodes is taking this gimmick and rolling with it. Taking what WWE gives him and making it into gold. That's what happened with the dad. Making him wear polka dots, turn into merchandising gold. And big gold when it comes to trying to win the tag team title gold. The Cosmic Key, as Goldust, his partner Stardust, has been saying. And it was a fun match with Golden Stardust. I think doesn't matter if they're playing as themselves or as these cosmic characters. Golden Stardust being siblings, real siblings, going back to their sibling thing after the Nikki Brie Bella match. And also Usos as well, being brothers as well. Great teamwork between both teams. And great action. With the Golden Stardust dominating the early half of the matchup, isolating the Usos, and they're going to do a strategic, traditional double teamwork and keeping the man in their corner with the quick tags in and out. Good old-fashioned tag team wrestling there. But then, of course, it wasn't good old-fashioned tag wrestling as the Usos came literally flying back with the big flying Uso moves and trying to look like they were going to get the gold back. But after some big super kicks, this Goldust, with everybody falling all over the ring, referee got distracted for a second by one of the Usos as one of them was putting up Goldust in a precarious position for a possible Samoan drop, and then Stardust, with referee distracted, came from behind, clipped the Uso in the knee that gave Goldust the opportunity to nail with the spine buster in the, or should I say the final cut move, in the 1-2-3 victory for Gold and Stardust. Taking the victory kind of a cheap way with Cody Rhodes / Stardust taking advantage of referee being distracted and clipping the Uso with the knee. In the knee. 3.0 for that match. Like I said, great action for both these guys. The tag team division is very steep. When they finally get that Ascension team from NXT to come in, man, they're going to want rough shot in this tag team division and shake it up to its core. But till then, we have awesome teams in the division as it is, with these two guys leading the pack for the tag team division in the WWE. Gold and Stardust and the Usos. Great action for both these teams. And Usos keep on tugging for that title shot. It may get another one, especially after the way they lost tonight, with Cody Rhodes clipping him with the knee. Now on to the first of two Hell in a Cell matches. Now, if you watched my Raw review on Monday, I read a lot of reports that Cena and Orton was going to be the possible final match of the pay-per-view. And I was, not happy about it, about the possibility of that happening, because in my mind, Ambrose and Rollins deserve that main event because they need to have their match, steal the show as the last match. If you want to push new guys to be main event material, you got to have them have the main event. Not have egos get in the way and have Cena Orton end the fucking pay-per-view. But thankfully, their egos went aside, and their match was the fourth match in the card, giving Ambrose and Rollins the main event spot that they deserved. But the ending, I'll get to that. Now, Cena Orton with the opportunity to face off against Brock Lesnar on the line. Now, we've seen these two guys wrestle how many fucking times? Of course, this match came upon when the loser of the Cena-Ambrose match a few weeks back would have to face off against Orton in Hell in a Cell. And of course, they added the Lesnar situation last minute on Raw on Monday. Now, yes, Orton and Cena has fought so many times, so many pay-per-views. Hell, they even fought at Royal Rumble this year to the Bruise in Philadelphia. That was an intense pay-per-view, especially with the reaction, especially Bautista. Do I need to go back? But I'll actually give Cena and Orton credit. There's no way that their match was deemed to be an afterthought with Ambrose and Rollins getting all the attention. And in the sub-main event, Cena and Orton had not that bad of a match, actually. Not that bad. You know? It wasn't that bad with Cena. There's some decent action in there. Especially outside the ring, using weapons, some decent use of weapons. And one of my favorite spots of the match, we've seen Orton near the RKO from anywhere. You know, RKO in midair. Probably my favorite RKO counter ever is probably what happened tonight. As Cena was, both guys were good gunning for that finish. I think Cena went for the FU at least numerous times. It connected at least once or twice. Especially the ending. But as he was going for the AA, I love the fact that Orton countered it into the RKO. That was I was like, holy God. That's probably the most unique counter for the RKO. The unique way to do an RKO I've ever seen. Countering the AA into the RKO. That was awesome. Great way of using the RKO there. He even hinted a bun at one point. And like I said, these two guys had a decent match. It was very long, too. That's why, like I said in the beginning, why the Cesaro and Ziggler match only went 2 falls instead of 3. Just ending it 2 straight with Ziggler winning those 2 falls. So, these two guys just fought tooth and nail. Especially with the opportunity. But, of course, the bad news is, of course, Cena wins. That means we get Cena Lesnar 3. Of course, the ending came when Cena FU'd Orton off the top rope onto a table. And I saw that, I was like, fuck, it's over. We even saw Steel Steps get involved. And I saw Cena trying to throw the steps at Orton like he did to Bray Wyatt earlier this year. But like I said, that FU, Cena wins. Now, I said this on Raw as well. The only reason why I would have liked to have seen Orton win is obviously to give us something different instead of fucking Cena Lesnar 3. And number 2, to try to maybe add more fuel to the fire of the Orton Rollins situation. Especially after seeing Rollins club stomp Orton on Raw Monday. But we didn't see any interaction between Orton and Rollins tonight. Maybe they'll have some sort of interaction on Raw and maybe build up the feud. But now we get Cena Lesnar 3. And they're trying to build Cena up again. As the big guy to win the championship again. Now, of course, the big thing is Lesnar, I even said this when Lesnar became champion. The pros about Lesnar being champion, it's anybody but Cena. The con is, he comes and goes and he pleases, beat everybody up. Well, the only matches he's had as champion is Cena. And now he's probably going to face Cena again. And I'm reading he's not even going to defend the title again until 2015. Possibly Royal Rumble. So now we get Cena Lesnar 3. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I thought we were going to see Lesnar 3 tonight. Cena Lesnar tonight. At Hell in a Cell. But we are going to see it. It's just going to wait a little bit longer. But it's like, damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. You know what I mean? It's like, damn it. It's a fun match. I'll give that a 2.5. Like I said, decent action there. Actually, it's one of the better matches. Especially with the RKO spot. There's some good spots in that match. Probably one of the better matches. And a upgrade. This is even better than the TLC match. And better than the Royal Rumble match. Of all the matches lately, this is probably one of the better matches of recent memory. This year, really. Well, let's kick things on, continue things on with the United States Championship match. Sheamus against Miz. Now, like I said about the Cody Rhodes situation with him being Stardust, but WWE gave me a gimmick and Orton, Mr. Cody Rhodes going with it, turning it into gold. Of course, as we've seen with Damien Sandow for the last numerous months, he's been taking the gimmick of wearing ridiculous outfits and running with it. And of course, really running with the Miz style thing, especially lately. Especially the way he's been mimicking Miz during the matches. Whether he's winning or losing, he mimics every move. And tonight, it was pure comedy gold. yet again, and even had the fans chanting, Mizdow's awesome. The match itself was okay. Just added Mizdow's comedy and just very funny. You know, every time Miz was in ready position, like you see Mizdow, the stunt double doing every move. It's kind of a funny thing. Make it all quick, but now it's just fun right now. Maybe sick to see after a million times, but still, when it's still new, it's fun. But it wasn't fun to see Miz get pummeled by Sheamus, despite Miz's best efforts, even getting an attempt at this skull crushing finale at least a couple times. And it goes Sandow distracting Sheamus. It looked like Sheamus, who has lost to Miz in non-title matches, with the inadvertent also help of Miz now, trying to get the steal again. And that's when he nailed that skull crushing finale. I think after that distraction, one of those distractions from Miz down, that's when Miz got the skull crushing finale. But then, like I said, Sheamus got back up. And Miz is trying to get back up too. And then he came and Miz came up the top rope. And went right into the bro kick. In the 1-2-3 victory for Sheamus. Now, after the match ending was kind of funny. And really putting the icing on the cake of the funniness that Sandow's provided as Mizdow. As Miz was laid out, Mizdow came back in. And he continued to mimic Miz's every move. In the way they had to have choreographed this. They probably had the fucking practices at least to get this right. To have both guys put the arms up at the same time. They had to at least choreograph this in the ring at least a couple times to get this right. And it was funny seeing Sheamus pull Miz and once again Sandow mimicking Miz's every move. He even sold the bro kick after the match. Even if Miz took it, Sandow sold it like he took it. Like he's, like I said, mimicking Miz's moves, whether it's a winning move or selling when Miz is hurting. So that's why everybody loves Mizdow. I hope, like I said, last couple weeks I've been watching my reviews. I hope Mizdow can finally get back in the main event picture because of this. He can finally get back to where he should belong before he got buried by Cena in the Money in the Bank cash attempt last year. Now on to our next affair. Rusev against the Big Show. Now, say all you want about Rusev and his streak. And of course what happened on Monday. Now, a lot of people were not a lot of people, but some people were kind of offended by the way Rusev attacked a soldier last week, Planet Fan or not. Rusev needed to get heat, and that was a way to get heat. Some call it a cheap way to get heat. And crossing the lines, some would say. But hey, it's sports entertainment, Vince would say. Emphasizing the entertainment portion of the phrase, sports entertainment. And having everybody pay $9.99 a month to see it on the network. And I'm one of those people. If anyone saw my wall review last week, of course I have that $9.99 shirt now, calling me a Mark or 9. I have it. I'm not wearing it tonight. It's getting washed. Anyway, Rusev Big Show, kind of like every other Rusev match. Like, Big Show isn't as athletic and agile as he used to be. Mark Henry, same thing with their matches. He's limited moveset. Because both guys on agile. And Rusev, I love the character building. Getting the right amount of heat in his character building, especially with Lana looking pretty in pink tonight. Really getting interested in the character, making people react to it, especially with the boos and USA chants and the way that Lana says, "Shut up!" And of course, Big Show looked like he was going to finally be the savior for America and finally get the knockout on Rusev. He hinted it a few times during the matchup, but then Mark Henry would come down and try to help Big Show. But unfortunately, kind of like what happened this couple weeks ago on Raw when Mark Henry got Big Show disqualified. Mark Henry became more of a distraction for Big Show than an inspiration, as Rusev capitalized on Big Show's attention on Mark Henry by getting pummeled in the corner, by him getting pummeled by Rusev in the corner, and Mark Henry getting a kick for his helping, all leading up to Rusev clinching on that accolade, and Big Show passed out like everybody else, and Rusev remains undefeated. Now, I've been saying this in my reviews as well for the last couple weeks. If EC3, Ethan Carter III, can stay undefeated for a year, so can Rusev. But I think Rusev needs to lose at one point. But if Big Show can't do it, who will? Maybe John Cena? Going back to the Cena-Lesnar thing. One of my friends said that he predicts that Cena and Rusev may have a feud. That Rusev may get involved in Cena's match against Lesnar if he ends up facing Lesnar at Royal Rumble, starring a Cena and Rusev feud that may happen at WrestleMania 31. Now, seeing Rusev lose, yes. But seeing Rusev lose to Cena, that's kind of a bad way because you can't come back from losing, especially losing your first match to Cena. You know, if he lost his first match to anybody else, he can recover from it. But he sees what happens to guys when they lose to Cena and their career goes down. Senda goes down. Bray Wyatt went down, although he may be on his way back, as we saw tonight. So if Rusev does lose to Cena in his first match, in his first loss, I don't know if he can come back from it. Because that's what's going to define Rusev, is when he loses and how he comes back from his first loss. But if it's against Cena, good luck. 2.0 for the Rusev Big Show match. Rusev's okay, just punching, kicking. That was it. And Rusev wins again. Now on to the co-main. Not officially, but it was the second to last match. AJ against Paige for the Divas Championship. Now this feud's been building ever since WrestleMania. And they were playing hot potato over the championship since Payback. You know, with actually since SummerSlam, because I think AJ pinned, of course, Paige the night after the pay-per-view Money in the Bank. She lost to Paige at SummerSlam. Then AJ won it back in Night of Champions. So tonight, Scott the rubber match. Both women have beat each other twice. And of course, Paige had her so-called BFF, her bestie, her new bestie, Alicia Fox in her corner. Now this match is pretty decent for a Divas match. She's an action in there. Alicia Fox did get involved. Did try to get involved in the matchup. But got her one-ups in the end. So, there you go. Decent action. The weird ending with, of course, Paige getting headbutted by AJ, being beat up in the corner. Until Alicia Fox trying to help her bestie trying to get back in the ring. But unfortunately, all Alicia Fox did was push Paige in to get Black Widowed and tap it immediately on AJ's ass. That's what's so funny about the Black Widow and the positioning. Making her opponent tap her ass every time. With AJ clinching and holding on to her best friend, while Paige pummeled her so-called best friend, yelling, "I hate you." So, and I think this match with Alicia Fox, I think it wasn't as good as the other matches. You know, it was decent action between these two girls, but didn't do as well as others. 2.2. Now, on to the main event that I was hoping it was going to be. In the Hell in a Cell, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Now, it was kind of ironic that we saw Mick Foley show up on Raw this past Monday to give a speech, a premonition for both Ambrose and Rollins about their Hell in a Cell match. That it would make or break their careers and define their careers. And I've been reading there's going to be some sort of wink and a nod to the Mick Foley scene at Hell in a Cell 98. Well, that's kind of exactly what they began with. And the match itself, you know, ending aside, which I'll get to, it was the match I was hoping it was going to be. I just wish the Authority would stay out of it. Because we saw Rollins was brought out by his cronies, Jamie Noble and Mr. Joey Mercury. And when he got there, Ambrose, who came out with a bunch of weapons, brought out a bunch of weapons, and came with a candlestick in his hand, did his Mick Foley nod by climbing the top of the cell and daring Seth Rollins to climb on top to get him. But instead of having him go up immediately, he sent his cronies to try to send Mr. Ambrose down, the lunatic friends down. Yeah, why? They got pummeled down, but then Rollins came out from behind, and the brawl was on top of the cell. But then after Ambrose took care of both Jamie Noble and Mercury, took them out of the equation, nailing him with a candlestick, Both guys were trying to climb their way out of the cell, from on top of the cell back to the ground. And both trying to knock each other off the cell by ramming each other into the cell. But it was a headbutt from Dean Ambrose that sent not just one, but both men off the top of the cell, off the side of the cell, and both landing on the announce tables. Rollins on the Spanish announce table, the stunt table, because they made that comment during the Miz Sheamus match that they should have a stunt table. The stunt table is the Spanish announce table. As you saw with that headbutt, both guys flying, and Ambrose landing on the regular announce table with Cole, King, and JBL. And like the Foley Tinker match, both guys were rolled down on stretchers and looked like the match was over. But then Ambrose got back up, still smiling after falling off the side of the cell, and took Rollins, who was in a stretcher as well, back to the cell, and the match properly started. And both these guys had just an epic affair. Just the match I was hoping it was going to be. Just non-stop physical action, great use of weapons, the table, especially the big elbow through the top. I think it was like Ambrose set up the table on the side of the ring and mirroring it against it on the outside, and he set Rollins on top of it and nailed an elbow up the top rope. And these two guys were just brawling. The crowd was into it, and this is the match I was hoping for. But then as Ambrose was on fire, a fire extinguisher blew him down, and that was Kane. Now we saw the cronies get involved. I was hoping no one else was going to get involved. This is where I thought Orton was going to get involved, the continuous feud with Rollins. But as I said in the beginning, and later on, early on in the video, we didn't see an Orton-Rollins competition. So after Kane nailed from the outside Ambrose with the fire extinguisher, Rollins took advantage by nailing the club stomp on Rollins. On Ambrose, should I say. But then the kick out from Ambrose. And getting the pummeled and rammed against the cell. But then one up for Ambrose, nailing Rollins against the cell. And come back with the Luton French clothesline and trying for dirty deeds, but couldn't do so. And Ambrose even trying to nail Rollins with the briefcase. Like both guys were trying to use the briefcase on each other, and both guys were just grabbing anything they can. You know, chairs, big moves on a chair. I think there was like a big DDT move, a suplex move on a chair, bunch of chairs, and these two guys were just having a brawl. And then came the ending. As Ambrose got back control after getting sprayed in the face by the fire extinguisher from Kane, he brought out Poetic Justice, cinder blocks. And it looked like it was going to be karma for Mr. Rollins, getting his head stomped through the bricks. But I was like, some screwy may happen here. Well, as I would call it, as Ambrose was going to set up the curb stomp or some sort of move with the bricks, the lights went out. I thought Orton was going to come out doing this. Instead, it was Bray Wyatt. Now, I've been talking about Bray Wyatt's creepy promos lately about him separating himself from the family and wanting solo and letting Luke and Harper have their own solo feuds and solo careers. And the way the promos have been trying to reestablish Bray as an evil force in the WWE. And I even said this to myself, I don't know if I said this or not, about having him properly return. Like when he debuted, we knew when he was going to debut. But with this return, we didn't know when he was going to return. We kind of had an inkling. It might have been Hell in a Cell. But during the match between Ambrose and Rollins, in my mind, it should have been after the match. Because Bray Wyatt's interference kind of ruined a great epic match between Ambrose and Rollins. In my mind, Ambrose and Rollins didn't need anybody to get involved. These guys needed to have their match their way and end it between them two. Not have it end in interference. That's my quip about the ending. So we saw Bray. The only cool thing, though, is seeing Bray come out of the ring in that creepy hologram with the lantern hanging out and everything. And he came out, beat up on Ambrose. And Rollins didn't know what to think. with the whole arena illuminated with the cell phones. Rollins got the pin. Now, I'll say this about Bray Wyatt. He needed momentum shift. And he's been getting babyface pop. You know, he looked like he was going to do babyface at one point. But he does not need to be a babyface. And one better way to make him more evil and make him really evilish again is to have him feud against a guy that people are starting to like. Is Dean Ambrose. Especially the reactions tonight. The fans were so into it. Chanting Ambrose big time. You know, Ambrose is getting over big time with the fans. Now, the pros and cons of the main event and the ending. I mentioned one con. The fact that the match did not end clean and did not have a proper conclusive finish. Having a screwy finish, having Bray Wyatt get involved. Now, like I also said, Bray Wyatt, yes, I would like Bray Wyatt's return, but have Bray Wyatt come out after the match, not get involved during the match, because Ambrose and Rollins did not need anybody involved. Yes, the interference of Jamie Noble and Mr. Mercury was unnecessary, but it could have enhanced the match, especially having those two guys having to get punished on top of the cell as well as Rollins. Kane's involvement I can get over too, but seeing Bray Wyatt kind of ruin the match like that, you know, Ambrose and Rollins needed that match to have it their way and have both guys end it. You know, start with them, end with them. Don't let anyone else get involved. But let's say the pro. As I mentioned earlier, Brock Lesnar's not going to be main eventing pay-per-views for a while. With him not defending the title until probably next year, they need a main event feud to keep going, to keep interest in WWE pay-per-views until Lesnar comes back. And Ambrose and Rollins is that feud to keep the main event scene interesting. Yes, the ending was not conclusive, but that's the only pro about it. The feud is going to continue to keep the main event scene interesting when Lesnar's gone, to keep it exciting. So, like I said, take it both ways. You know, count about not having Ambrose and Rollins end the match the way they would like it to, between them and not have anyone else get involved. And of course, the pro is at least the feud continues. 3.7 for this matchup. I was going to give it 4.0, but I took away a few points because of the ending. But, ending aside, it was the match I was hoping for. Great epic spots with the tables and everything. For being a pay-per-view and being Hell in a Cell without blood, they did the best they can do with that. And it was fun. It was an epic match. But like I said, the ending, you know, I'm kind of like on the fence about it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I hate it, but it's like, it kind of makes sense to make the feud continue, but it's like, you know, I don't think it was the way Ambrose and Rollins would have wanted it to be ending like that. You know, but like I said, the match should have ended clearly, you know, clean with no interference. But like I said, Bray Wyatt would have loved him to appear after the match, or even on Raw even. Don't let him ruin Ambrose and Rollins, which is kind of like what he did. So, take it as you can. Take it what you want. You know, but in my mind, Bray Wyatt kind of ruined the main event. And didn't have Ambrose and Rollins have a clear, decisive finish. But like I said, at least the feud will continue. That's the only pro about this. Is that the feud will continue and make the main event interesting until Lesnar comes back. And keep people want to watch the pay-per-views for a great main event spot. So there you go. 3.7 for Ambrose and Rollins. Best match of the night. Take away the ending. And that is it. For my WWE Hell in a Cell review. Once again, 7.0 for my rating for the entire event. And with that in mind, you have been attacked by the review from Zach. See you all later. Oh yeah.